ជន់យូរទៅផុងទៅថយក្រោយបានទេថយក្រោយឡើងស្រួលបានទេ Okay, so now we start. First of all, I would like you to introduce yourself, your name, position.
Hi, good morning. My name is Roger. I work with Oxfam Novib, that's the office of Oxfam in the Netherlands. I work as a private sector advisor. I work with companies but also other actors to improve supply chains.
I was told that Oxfam is bringing BlocRice project to Cambodia. So could you tell me what is the perspective why you bring this project to this rural area?
Right. Now in this project, BlocRice project, we're actually testing a new technology. It's a very small project, it's a pilot project to test a new technology, a new method for social compliance. We have complicated, complex social compliance mechanisms these days, and they've become very expensive, and their impact is quite poor. Research shows that their impact to farmers is quite poor, and the farmers themselves have never really been given a voice. It's an auditor who passes by and who judges whether things are correct or not. And very often the auditor comes at a time that it's known. So everybody can make things right at the same for the auditor to come. Now in this project we test a new technology. It's using blockchain technology, and it gives farmers the opportunity to give information about their crop, in this case about rice. When sowing and transplanting the rice, they will, on their smartphone, or if they do not have the smartphone, a smartphone of the cooperative, they will provide information about how much rice are they sowing or transplanting, how much yield are they expecting, where did they get the seeds from, what variety are they sowing, stuff like that. Then at the second part of the chain, where they start harvesting and collecting and selling their rice through the cooperative to provide information about how much yield did they have, at what price are they actually selling it to the trader, and then the trader will have to verify. Do not agree with the information, they have to go back to the farmer or the cooperative and see what had happened until there is agreement on the information. Now giving those information is something that happens already, but it's for companies to prove their traceability, transparency in supply chains or food safety issues. So international companies, traders, manufacturers are already investing in this type of technology. But what's interesting for an organization like Oxfam is to see whether we can use this technology also to ensure that social conditions are met. Social conditions to the rice farmer, that they agree to the price they have been given. They agree on the weight of their rice handed over. And that the contract which they signed is being abided by. This is exactly what we do. It's a small project. We do not look into all the conditions, but basically what we look into is the farmer paid, quite important. Is the farmer paid in time, because the contract stipulates a certain time? Is he or she being paid according to the price that is stipulated in the contract? And what's also very important, can he or she sell whatever he or she wants to sell? Quite often what we see is that farmers, they have, say, 2 tons, and then the trader says, I only take 1, and a farmer may get stuck with 1 ton. In this case, the contract stipulates that The trader will buy whatever the farmer wants to sell. So that's for a farmer very important, that he or she has the security that the trader will take off what he has. Yeah, so this is basically what we do. It's testing a new technology for social compliance. We expect this technology to be more efficient, so far less costly than the current social compliance mechanisms. But more importantly for us, we give the farmer a direct voice. The farmer gets to inform all the other actors in the supply chain whether the deal is good, whether he or she agrees with the contract, yes or no, and whether what the contract was actually completed in the right way. Earlier social compliance mechanisms do not have that. They just depend on external parties, on auditors. In this case, we give farmers a voice. Yeah. The sun is moving?
Yeah.
Or am I moving?
Yeah, this is correct. Right. Okay. So second question
Yep.
is about after the rye crop is sent to Netherlands, and the Sano rye is the one who buy it and gonna produce it into the food. So what is your expectation that the consumer will prioritize or will appreciate with this kind of technology?
Yeah. Now, what we see is that companies are already working on this technology. And it means that, for example, retailers will have their app, and then consumers, through that app, can scan the products in that shop or in that supermarket, and they can see where the product came from. Now, that's great to see where the product came from. But it's even better if you can actually see whether the producers who made it were properly paid, whether their conditions were okay. And that's what people also care for. That's what consumers also care for. Research shows that if a consumer has the option to choose between one product where they don't know, they have no information about, and another product that they know the producer was paid well, so the producers were not suffering to produce whatever this consumer is buying, they will prefer this. They don't want to promote exploitation of people. They don't want to promote suffering of people. They want to promote good products. But at the moment, consumers do not have that option. They do not know. They cannot make a choice. Now we're trying to provide them this choice. In the supermarket, they can choose. And we know from research that consumers are even ready to pay a little bit extra as soon as they're sure this is a good product. Nobody suffered for making this product. So, but you have to build up a system that can be trusted, that can also give all the people in the supply chain a voice, and not only the retailer saying, no, trust me, it's great because I'm saying it. No, we want people in the supply chain to verify and check it with their own voice, saying, yes, this is okay. And that's why we're using a technology that's not owned by a retailer, so it's not a private blockchain, it's owned by nobody. It's open, it's a public blockchain. Everybody who contributes to that supply chain, in this case to the chain of rice, is partner, is co-owner of that public blockchain. So that creates much more trust, because it's not somebody who can quickly change some information and cheat if you want to. No. It's not possible with public blockchain. You will see it immediately. And you cannot just enter some data, because all the data will have to be verified, triangulated even. For example, on the payment, we will ask the farmer, how much were you paid for your rice? And was this correct? but we'll also ask the farmer cooperative, how much did you pay the farmer? And is that correct? So this information you can verify with each other. And as a third method of verification, we even bring in information from the bank, the data from the bank, from the transfer. You can easily verify, was it in time? Was the payment in time? The date is there. Was the payment correct? I mean, is the amount divided by the weight of the volume of rice, is that indeed the price that was agreed on? So you get ways to verify your information, and it's to be trusted. And a consumer on the other end of the world, in the Netherlands or UK or wherever, they can trust the information being provided by farmers right here. And they know that it will not be tampered with by somebody in between the chain. We think if this technology works and builds up trust with consumers, this can go a very long way. And it can be much more efficient than the current systems where you pay premiums, but in the end the premium do not reach the farmer because this system is so expensive that it eats up all the money. But what we also see is that this technology will push out any person, any intermediary that does not have any business in this supply chain, because they're not going to be part of it. The farmers will directly trade with their cooperative, will directly trade with their trader. Nobody can come in between. That was not being foreseen. So this will push out a lot of intermediaries who are nowadays making money out of farmers, because a farmer needs money right now and then the trader can sell it a little bit later at a higher price. This will be pushed out by this technology as well. So we are convinced this can work, even for the rice farmers which we see behind us. And we hope it can actually give them more power in the supply chain and negotiate better deals and get the prices that they are supposed to be getting for their decent work.
Okay, thank you for your detail. So last but not least, do you have any comments or recommendations about this rice project in Cambodia?
Of course, we started at a very small scale, and always when you start something you will find some small mistakes, some small challenges. For example, perhaps the translation was not 100% correct, or still some people who do not read and write find it difficult to work with the phone. We had intended to also have an app that can actually talk to you. Now, due to some technical problems, we didn't have it ready in time, but those small things can be added, and then it can be fairly easily scaled up and rolled out, not only in rice, but also in other value chains. So for that matter, as soon as we have results, proof, what we expect is that here in Cambodia, they can scale up in the rice sector. I mean, the trader that is working with us, Amru Rice, is very interested in it and is already mentioning it to its international clients. Like, I do not only have a good rice, and I do not only have a good track record of delivering in time, I can also provide you with a lot of information about that rice and about the rice producer. And I can also assure you that the prices I am paying, the conditions I am providing to my farmers are good. They will confirm it themselves. Now, this is going to be really, really a change in his trade. We, from our side, what we will do is we will promote and advocate with manufacturers and retailers in buying companies, like in the Netherlands or in the UK or in Sweden, where I'm also working. We are promoting with manufacturers and retailers to, instead of this expensive social compliance mechanisms, invest in this blockchain technology. They're doing it already for their food safety and traceability. So it's just an addition, an extra module that they have to invest in to assure good social conditions. So for a primary producer like a rice farmer, but we can also work with it on plantations where we have hired labor conditions. So this is where we're heading for, and to be here, to see that actually it's working, and with a little help, of course, of other farmers who are more, who are better with their smartphone. I mean, they're doing it. They're providing the information. So I'm really, really inspired to see what's happening and where it can go.
Thank you very much, Rogier.
Thanks.